want to thank everybody for coming out this morning. For the record, my name is Mark Herman. I am the elected constable here at Precinct 4. Been telling you we would give you the name of the suspect that caused the triple fatality accident yesterday at Beltway 8 and Antoine. Before we did that, we wanted to ensure that our office did a thorough investigation through the night. I can tell you that our office and District Attorney Kim Ogg's office worked through the night to put all the pieces of that investigation together. This morning we did end up filing 3 counts of intoxication manslaughter on our defendant, who was identified as Gregory Smith. Mr. Smith is currently hospitalized. He was injured in the accident, transported to Bentile by ground yesterday. Since that time, with the deaths, we've had deputy constables sitting at the hospital on him because he was actually considered to be under arrest. And we're in the process right now of handing him off to Sheriff Ed Gonzalez's office, who we've been working in conjunction with. I can tell you that Mr. Smith, and knowing what I know about this investigation, he is responsible for snuffing out the lives of 3 people yesterday, one of which was a small infant. As if that's not bad enough, we have our community members that also witnessed the accident and were basically helpless. I watched some of the TV interviews with some of these folks, and in the clips you could see people running with fire extinguishers trying to really help our 3 victims, but to no avail because of the tremendous impact caused by Mr. Smith. As a law enforcement officer, this is one of the most horrific accidents I've seen in quite some time. And what makes it even more difficult for me to comprehend is that this individual is a career criminal. In the last couple of years, he's been filed on 14 times for criminal cases. Out of the 14 criminal cases, 7 of them have been dismissed, which I don't know why, but we're going to look into that. He, a few months ago, was arrested for driving while intoxicated, and he's out on a bond. So he is currently also has another case committed a couple of months ago where he assaulted a police officer. Both of those cases, the DWI case, the assault on a police officer, they're both pending, and I think he's due in court back in April of this year. The 3 counts that we filed on him are all 3 second-degree felonies. And again, once Mr. Smith is released from the hospital, he'll be basically given over to Sheriff Gonzalez's team. But that's our suspect. He has been formally filed on as of earlier this morning. And our investigation will continue because there's a few other things we're looking at. But we do have witnesses that gave us statements that basically said this individual ran several red lights before causing the accident. So, but I'll open it up to any questions any of you may have.
Is he facing additional charges for the other vehicle that was involved also, of those people that were injured, intoxicated assault or anything like that?
Yeah, well, right now we're working very close with Kim Ogg's office, and I'm gonna tell you, District Attorney Ogg has been very instrumental in helping us, providing resources to our agency to get the 3 charges we have now. But ultimately, that will be up to the District Attorney's office if more charges are filed or if they're not filed. But I can assure you we're going to prosecute this individual to the highest degree of the law that we can. I can tell you that we did get a no bond on him, so which means he's not bonding out for right now. Eventually, some judge may give him a bond, but right now he is in jail under a no bond. Therefore, he cannot be a menace to society.
Do we have any idea as to his intoxication level? Was it alcohol? Was it drugs?
Yeah, we really don't know. There were some comments made at the hospital that's part of our case. But I don't want to get into whether it was liquor or other drugs. Right now, he's filed on for basically the intoxicated manslaughter.
Any ID on the victims who were killed?
Yes, we do. We have, it was a mother, her daughter, and her daughter's little boy. So whole family snuffed out over this menace to society.
Could you make a clarification also on the 11-year-old that was ejected? Was she ejected from his vehicle?
Yes.
Or was she ejected from?
Yeah, the 11-year-old was in the van with the grandmother, the mother, and her little brother. All four of those were in the van that was struck, sent the van into a tailspin, and she was basically thrown about 30 feet out of the vehicle into a grassy area. And I think she's pretty much physically unscathed, but the mental impact this will have on her will be for a lifetime, you know.
And what's the relation compared to the other relatives, the 11-year-old girl?
The 11-year-old girl's mother was and brother was killed in that accident, and then the grandmother was actually driving the van. But I can tell you the van had a clear green light and was just driving through the intersection when it was struck.
About how fast was he going? You know?
We don't know that. I mean, we had our investigators do some mathematical formulas. That'll all be part of our case, and you know, be part of the criminal prosecution of this individual.
But well above the speed limit, obviously.
Yeah, again, that'll be part of our criminal investigation when we prosecute.
Was that his vehicle?
I don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we don't know if he was.
Don't
fleeing
know.
From some.
Don't know. I can tell you if you folks will do your research on him, there's no telling whose vehicle that was. We don't know. I mean, our investigators know, but I personally don't know.
And based off of that, his last DWI charge, it was not alcohol, it was actually drugs. We're hearing it was PCP.
It's my understanding the last charge that he was filed on months ago was for a PCP, and
So I was gonna say, what's the difference with that when trying to, I guess, go after someone who is intoxicated on drugs versus alcohol?
it carries the same penalty regardless. If it impairs your driving, it carries the same penalty. And that's something that the toxicologist and folks that, we had blood drawn, we were able to obtain search warrants to get his blood. That's all being analyzed. That'll be all part of the criminal prosecution with Kim Ogg's office.
Has he been the suspect, has he been pretty cooperative inside the hospital, has been talking to investigators?
I can assure you he hasn't given us any problems. I mean, because we have deputies down there sitting on him. He's under arrest in the hospital bed. And again, we're hoping to release our deputies today once Sheriff Gonzalez's team gets there to take over. But he may be in the hospital for 2 or 3 more days. We don't know. We don't know.
What kind of injuries did he have?
I really don't want to go into his injuries. I can tell you he has several injuries that would require him to be in the hospital from the accident.
And was he in his car, the vehicle he was driving, was he in there by himself?
Now, he had another individual in the vehicle with him.
Okay. Is that person at all being investigated or tied into this, or?
That person is part of our criminal investigation. No charges have been filed at this time on him, but he's part of the criminal investigation.
Any relation to the suspect, do we know, or friend, or?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my investigators know. I don't know. I don't know, but I can tell you this is a fluid investigation. It will go on for, at least a couple more weeks. We're doing some other subpoenas and things of that nature to gather more evidence, so we can better prosecute this individual and hopefully this time keep him in jail and keep him off our streets.
Do you know where they were off to when the crash happened? Were they?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my investigators have spoke to some of the family members.
Mm-hmm.
They would probably know, but I don't know. I don't know. So.
And the people who were inside of the vehicle, the other vehicle that was hit, not the van, how many people were in that car?
There was one person, there was a total of 3 vehicles. The suspect vehicle was a striking vehicle, struck one lady in the intersection that was by herself, spun her around, and then it struck the van. So, but she was transported also with just minor injuries, but she was hospitalized and then I believe released last night. So there was a total of 3 vehicles.
So how many people remain at the hospital right now?
Say that again?
How many people remain at the hospital?
2.
2. Him and the little girl.
And now the little girl's not in the hospital.
It's
The
not in the
11-year-old is pretty much physically, unscathed. Yeah. So.
What's your reaction to that? How well she's doing after what happened to her?
I think it's somebody God was looking out for her. I mean, for her to be thrown clear of that vehicle, because everyone in that vehicle, burned up, and for her to be thrown out is miraculous, and it was, it just was meant to be. And but again, here she is without her mom, without her brother, without her grandma, and it's tough. It's tough. And when professionally you see somebody like this out on our streets, I can tell you in my 34 years of doing this business, I have never seen so many suspected criminals on our streets. And that's just the way it is. I mean, these folks are having cases dismissed. They're having low bonds, if sometimes not even any bonds, and they're amongst us. And from a law enforcement perspective, I assure you we're up to the task. And we're going to keep putting them in jail. They can keep releasing them. We're going to keep putting them in jail, doing our job, try the best we can to stay in our own lane. And but at the end of the day, it is what it is, folks. So
You said 2 people were still hospitalized. The suspect, and who was the second?
the other person that was in the vehicle with him.
His passenger.
Hmm.
Have you been able to trace his whereabouts, where he was coming from? Was he leaving some kind of restaurant? Or
That's all part of the investigation. We've got a team of investigators working all of that. I don't know. I was briefed just a little bit this morning before coming in here on certain aspects, so I could do this press conference for y'all. But I don't know.
Was the 11-year-old wearing a seatbelt?
I don't think so. Yeah, for her to be thrown from the car, she obviously was not.
And that is a miracle, because typically when they're rejected, that outcome is
Usually pretty bad, but one of the investigators told me this morning where she was thrown to and landed was a soft grassy area, and that saved her. So anyway, all right, any other questions? We're going to wrap up. All right, thank y'all for being here.